Happy Thursday and happy Facebook Live time. I'm so excited to be here. Yay! Paper crafting with my buddies. My name's Melissa Kerman of Melissa's Crafting Treehouse, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I've been a demonstrator for over 19 years. I am addicted to paper crafting, and I think I'm in good company. All you guys out there. Anyway, I have some fun tonight. A project made with the let's see, Heart and Home Suite. Blessings of Home is the name of the stamp set and the bundle. And I actually have a second project as well. The project is pretty in-depth, lots of little details, so it's going to be lots of fun. And I got some announcements and a prize winner announcement, actually 2 prize winner announcements from my Facebook Live 2 weeks ago. I'm going to wait to announce the prizes till the end, entice you to stick around. So let's just jump right in. I see people joining in. Hi, Ginny, so good to see you here. And I know there were other people. And okay, hi, Sharon, wonderful. Try to notice names as I'm talking. Always a challenge. Alrighty, so things going on, lots of stuff going on. So I have the kissing technique class coming up later this month. April 27th is the live class. I do a Zoom event, so we have a lot of fun actually seeing each other's faces, so much fun. You also have the option to watch the live stream in Facebook or get the recording after the fact, but it's a lot of fun. So the option to get this class with a kit in the mail ends today. So if you're interested, today's the day to sign up. Absolutely. It costs $40. You get a kit in the mail. You get the video, a comprehensive PDF tutorial with all the variations that I do of the technique, project photos, dimensions, all that good stuff. It's going to be a fun class because how could we go wrong? Kissing. Come kiss with me. I know, it's silly, right? So there's that. The next thing that's happening is the Maker's Mojo Creative Escape, the spring event. Hi, Sharon. Good to see you here. Is coming up next Saturday. So the registration deadline is a week from today, April 21st. This is going to be a super fun event. There's 5 presenters. We actually have a special guest presenter that we're super excited about. It's going to be a surprise. So we're not going to announce who it is until the Friday night welcome event. So, but I think you're going to want to see this special guest. So super excited. So we'll actually have 11 presentations and 11 PDFs instead of 10. Each of the regular demonstrator design team will be doing 2 each. And then we'll have our guest presenter who's has a PDF and video presentation as well. And she is going to join us live. So she'll be in the Facebook group and all that good stuff. So one little hint, it's a woman. Very small hint. All right, so that's Maker's Mojo. We do lots of prizes. In fact, what's going on in the group now, yay, it's Kathleen. She's watching. Kathleen, so good to see you here. It's been forever. I hope life is good. Let's see, I get distracted. So yes, where was I going? I get excited when I see my stamping buddies joining in. All right. So Maker's Mojo, yes. So 11 presentations. Every presentation includes multiple project ideas. It's not just one. So what we intend to do with this event is we want to help you get your creative juices flowing, to use the products you have on hand. You may very well be inspired to purchase the things that we are showing, but we definitely don't count on that or encourage that. It's not a sales event. It's really about being creative, showing you lots of creative ways to create a certain design or use a certain technique. It's really a blast. Now, if you're a team member and you qualify, you actually get the event for free. If you're new to my team, the event that happens immediately after you join my team, you get that first event free. And then after that, you have certain qualifying criteria. So, yeah, so it's one of the wonderful perks of being a member of my Treehouse Chicks team. So consider joining if you love lots of free stuff and lots of creative ideas and a discount and so much more. All right, let's see. So Maker's Mojo. I will probably think of the thing that I meant to say about Maker's Mojo in a bit. We'll just see. It's going to be an amazing event, and you can watch it live, or you can watch the replays. You can do it on Facebook, or you can do it off Facebook, whatever you want. We make it easy for you to thoroughly enjoy everything that we share. Alrighty, what's next? Okay, so Taste of a Sweet product shares. You guys know my Taste of a Sweet product shares. You get a little taste of a bunch of different products focused on a sweet or designer paper or embellishments. I'm doing a few additional product shares that are not based on sweets. So there's 3 of them. In colors, specialty designer papers that are not part of the sweets, and embellishments. So there's 13 shares altogether. You can pick one, you can pick all 13, anything in between. They're all different prices based upon what's in them, because they were all prorated based upon what's included in the share. I did an unboxing last Thursday during the day, and I showed products from 6 of the shares in that. We're not allowed to get everything in the annual catalog as a pre-order demonstrators. We only can get certain products. So I don't have everything. You really do need a catalog if you want to be able to set your eyes on all the products that are in the product shares. If you're a demonstrator, that works. If you need a catalog from me, if you intend to purchase through me or purchase product shares, I'm happy to send you a catalog. Just let me know. All right, so the product shares, the deadline is May 1st. To reserve them. The deadline to pay is May 2nd. That's a Monday. There is an early bird special. And if you do the early bird, then depending on how many shares you order, some people are guaranteed a gift. Supplies willing, right? While supplies last, shall we say. I'm giving away lots of celebration items from this current past celebration, and a few back, I think. It's hard for me to remember what. And then some host sets, level 2 sets, level 1 sets. So a variety of things that I have available people can earn for the early bird special. So the early bird deadline to reserve is April. Say that again. 18th, which is next Monday. And the deadline to, then you have to pay by the 26th of April. So I just, for those people who do it early, you get the either a free thing or entered into a drawing. If you just buy a few shares, you get entered into a drawing for a free thing. Okay, so that's my Taste of a Sweet product shares. Anybody out there who has bought them and loves them, don't comment if you don't love them. I'm just kidding. Anyway, just comment and tell us what you like about them, why they're a great thing. I started offering them because I wanted a little bit of everything, right? And there was no way to get that. So I thought, I'm going to offer this to people, because even if you're a demonstrator, having a little bit of everything allows you to promote and show everything. And then you also have the goodies to play with too. So it's so much fun. All right, so a couple of things. All these things I just talked about. Right here. I'm going to have this on the screen. So where to find this information? So classes and events are on the on the classes and events tab, and it's backwards, so that doesn't help. I'll show it to you when the camera's facing down. And we'll talk about that. Okay. All right. A couple things coming soon, then we'll get to the project without further ado. So coming soon, new catalog goes live Tuesday, May 3rd. Yay, so excited. Those people who are regular customers of mine who've purchased a minimum of $50 in product over the last 6 to 12 months, your catalog is already in the mail. I know somebody close by to me that got theirs. I mailed it yesterday, they got it today. Isn't that so exciting? So happy mail for those of you who are my regular customers. Again, let me know if you need a catalog. Next up, the Impressions of Tarnished Foil class. I have that. This is a personal technique, a technique that I came up with, the Impressions of Tarnished Foil. And I haven't done projects with this technique for a long time. So I've decided to do a class. I've designed 3 or more projects already. I just love these designs. I'm going to show you a tiny little sneak peek of a piece of one of them. That's coming in May. Thursday, May 9th will be the live class. Don't have to participate live if you don't want to. There will be other ways to participate. And then last off, coming soon, in June, I have a class called Creative Fun with Adhesives. Everything but adhering things. Playing with adhesives, so it should be tons of fun. That's coming up at the end of June, June 30th, part of my technique class series. Alrighty, again, the prize winners from last 2 weeks ago's a hashtag 3x3fun, hashtag in color bookmark. I'm going to announce them at the end, so I won't forget. So let's get to the project demonstration. I'm going to switch the camera around and we're going to go ahead and get started. Hi, Elizabeth. Good to see you here. I know Elizabeth loves product shares, my product shares. Now, just in case you're not aware, my product shares are unique in that they are not just paper, not just embellishments, not just a single type of consumable, but a variety. So that's what makes them so fun, and that's why I call them a taste of a sweet. All right, so what you see here, well, first of all, I'll show you this. My website, if you're looking for any information about my classes and events, you go to the classes and events tab for the technique class details. There's also an option for the Maker's Mojo Creative Escape there. And there is a tab. Oh, you love my product shares. Yay. The product shares tab has an overview page option and then also specifics to the 2022-23 annual catalog share. So that's where you find everything. That's my website. So easy to find. And if you order, that's my current host code. So there you go. Those are the basic details of I wanted to share. And I'll bring these back on screen in a little bit. So this mini catalog is current through the end of June, and we're using products in this mini catalog. So we're using the Heart and Home Suite. I think we're using 3 products, the stamp set, the dies, and the designer series paper. So this is the whole set of products. So these are going to be available through the end of June only. So let's show you a closer look at the items we're using. So I've got the Blessings of Home stamp set, and we're using both of the floral images in this, one of the sentiments, and I keep my dies in here. Now some of the stamps are out, some of the dies are out. I'm using the 2 big dies, and I'm using most of the smaller foliage dies on this project, so you'll see it when we get to that. And then I'm also using the Heart and Home Designer Series paper. So there's a little sampler, if you will, of all of the different patterns of designer paper in the pack. These come in handy for all kinds of things. I made a porthole card with using some of the wood grain behind, background, backsides, whatever you want to call it. Today, we're going to be using one of the wood grain patterns. And while I'm talking about this, I want to show you. I know I've showed it before, but I want to show it because this really shows off the Heart and Home paper. So I made this lovely tool caddy here, and it uses some of my favorite patterns in this pack. So you can see them in there. Anyway, just fun. I love my little tool caddy. It has all my essentials in it. And I don't know if you noticed, but I have these little plastic bags in there. I like to keep little plastic baggies in handy because when I'm creating, I always have little pieces and parts left over. So I put what I call my card salad leftover little bits and nibbles in a baggie. So I keep bags handy so I can do that when I finish whatever I'm creating for the day. So that's it. Okay, so other products in that suite, the doilies, which I'm not using, of course, today, but I'm just going to show them anyway, and the matte dots, I think they're called, classic matte dots or something like that. All right, let's move along. Okay, I'm going to keep my tool caddy off to the side, off camera, so I'll have what I need. And I'm going to start with a piece that I just want to get ready, so it'll have a little bit of time to do what it needs to do while I'm doing some other steps. So I've got a couple of my little pieces here that I've die cut, and I usually just have them all set, but for this time I wanted to actually do one so I can show you how quick this adhesive dries. So I'm using some of my multi-purpose liquid glue. And Sue, you're there. So Sue, you have something to pick up. So I have your catalog here. It hasn't been mailed to you, so you need to stop by. I think I sent you an email to that effect. So just happened to notice your name on the screen. Alrighty. So I'm going to go ahead and take my white glue, this multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm just drawing it onto this. And I'm doing it on my silicone craft sheet because then I don't need to worry about getting it on my work surface. Easy to clean off. And I can leave it on there, and it's also dark, so I don't lose my pieces in spots where I might like put my hand in the glue. Okay, so there's that. Now I did these other 3 pieces earlier today, and you can see this one. This one was done, I don't know, a couple hours ago, but it's got the shiny adhesive on the back side, so it's tacky, right? But it doesn't stick to my fingers. This is one of my favorite tricks because I hate to get glue on my fingers, and I hate when it oozes out and makes a mess on your project. So I'm going to go ahead and set those aside. I'm going to use those later, and you'll see how the white dries. We'll check in with it every once in a while so you can see how fast it dries. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I've taken a piece of my Heart and Home Designer Series paper. Hi, Joan. Hi, Laura Lee. Just glancing at the screen there. And I've stamped it with the main image in the set, that big image in the set. Now, you can see here I have washi tape on there. I don't know if you can see that. When I die cut it, because this is already die cut, I put the washi tape on there because if you don't, it can slide ever so slightly, right? And then you won't get it centered on there. And 2 pieces are better than 1, because if you just use 1, especially on a piece that's this big, it can move ever so slightly even still. So I use 2. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Now you're probably wondering why I die cut in the middle. Well, you're probably not wondering yet. I should show you the project. Okay, let me show you the project. So I die cut that out of the middle, so you know where I'm going with our project. So this is what we're making. And in my imaginings, you're going, ooh, isn't that beautiful? I think it's pretty beautiful. We used a lot of different products on it. So what we're getting started with is this background piece. And this one is the wood grain going this way. This one is the wood grain going that way. I see someone gave me a heart. Thank you so much. I love it when I see hearts flashing across the screen. So I have die cut out the center, stamped and die cut out the center. Now, the center's covered, right? But, you know, I didn't want to waste all that's covered up, so I decided I would stamp in the center. And I'm going to remove that. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp around the outside edges. So I've got my big image there. And I'm using Memento because I am going to be, I'm not coloring in on this card, but I had envisioned that I would color in on the die cut piece that I cut out. So I'm looking for scrap paper over here. Comment and let me know if you have seen or have the Blessings of Home stamp setter bundle. This was an early release in the mini catalogs. A lot of people, demonstrators, were able to get it quite early. So there might be a lot of people out there that have it. So I'm going to go ahead and just stamp on the edges. And it is going to be upright, so... This just adds a little bit of a nature element along the edge. Okay, one more spot. Let's see if I want a different. I'm going to turn it around a little bit. I'm going to get that spot on here just for some variety. And one more. So there we go. All right, so there's my piece. I actually have a piece of a plasticized piece in behind because this already has adhesive on it. I like to do my steps ahead so you guys don't have to watch me do adhesive. All right, so next up, I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. I've got a piece of white cardstock that I've dry embossed with my Hive 3D embossing folder. So there is my piece that's already dry embossed. Now this is a 2-step process because next I'm going to actually die cut it with my rectangle, my stitch rectangle die, Now, it's very important if you're going to see the stitching that you do the dry embossing first and the die cutting second. So I'm going to go ahead and do that part now. And I'm bringing in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to do that. I've got my 2 layers, my 1 and my 2. Just going to put my piece on top. And as long as it fits on the paper, it doesn't really matter where it sits. And then my second cutting plate on the top. It's nice to be able to put this small machine on camera. It takes up less room on my workspace. So there we go. So it's going to flatten the dry embossing just a little bit, but my edge is going to show up nicely, which is sort of the more subtle of the 2 features of this piece. So it's more important that that shows than the other. Okay, so there's this piece. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of Wink of Stella. So I'm going to actually flick some of it onto this to give it some sparkle. You can see a little bit on there on this one. Don't know how well you can see it, but there's actually quite a bit on there. I don't know how much it shows up on camera, but it's a really nice little added element. So I'm going to squeeze this to get a little puddle, if you will. Not too much of a puddle. And then just going to flick it with my finger. So pretty. Love this Wink of Stella. I want to make sure that it's going to show above the flower. I think I got a little bit more on that one than I did on the original, so nice. And didn't really need all of my little wink there. Might have to wipe that off so I don't make a mess. Okay. All right, next up, actually, I'm going to go ahead and take my card body and I'm going to take my white piece that's all stamped and go ahead and put it on my card. This is the backside pattern, in case you're wondering. Now let's look at the piece that I put white glue on, just for the heck of it. See how, if it's white still or if it's already turned. So this is the piece that I put the white glue on. It's no longer white. It's already clear, which means I can really use it anytime now. So let's go ahead and do that. I've got a white piece for the inside of my card. And those little elements that I made are for the inside. So you'll notice that I can just pick it up with my finger and it's not going to leave any sticky residue on my finger. It's already dry. It's only been, a very short amount of time. So it's just a lovely little trick. So I'm going to place that down and get it where I want it. I'm not pressing it until I get my second piece. And I wanted that one underneath it. Am I on camera? I think I am. Okay, let's just tuck that under there. So there's my lovely little accent on the inside. I know, usually you do that last, but just wanted you to see how quick and easy it was to use that white glue. And these are actually going to go in my second card for tonight. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. Got my dry emboss piece. I'm going to set that aside. And now I'm going to get to my main event here. So I'm using the main image in this set, the smaller of the two floral images, this one, right? I've stamped it with Memento ink and die cut it. You can see I die cut that. And I've done two of them, okay? So I've gotten a jump start on one of them on the right. This first one that I did, I only used one piece of washi tape when I had it in my thing. Okay, this is showing two, but I only used one when I did this one. And you can see I ended up, it looked centered, but when I pushed it through, it gave me a larger edge here than it did on this side. That kind of thing bugs me, you know. I want it to be centered, like spot on. So again, you really want to be using two pieces of washi tape to hold your piece down, get it in place, and then run it through your embossing machine. And that will assure that you'll get it centered. This is much better centering. All right. So I'm bringing in some of my Blends alcohol markers, and I've done a good bunch of this coloring. Let's bring the camera down so you guys can see a little bit better. And that's as far as it goes, but I will bring the camera, the piece up every once in a while. So I'm going to show you what I've done already. Is I've done all the leaves, and yes, I chose gray for my leaves. I'm using Smoky Slate. I really wanted just a blue and gray color scheme. The blue I'm using is the Misty Moonlight, which is retiring. So sad. I love Misty Moonlight, trying to use it as much as I possibly can before it retires. So I've finished these little flowers, finished most of the leaves, but I left one flower, one leaf, two leaves really, so I could finish those up and show you the process that I do without having to show you the whole thing, which would take a very long time. So let's start with my light Smoky Slate. I like to use the light first, and I go over the whole thing with my light. Okay, I'm doing the same thing on this other little leaf. And I've already done the light gray in the center of the flower. Okay, so we'll do our lights first. I'm going to do the light on the flower as well. Now, there's two ends to these markers. I love the Blends alcohol markers. I've never been much of a color inner. It's never been my go-to because it's time consuming. But with the Blends, I feel like I can really get some beautiful effects, and it's totally worth my time and effort. So I love the Blends. The other side is more like a brush. A lot more ink comes off, but it's also a lot harder to control where the ink goes. So I'm going to focus on using this little nibby end. That's what I like to call it, the nibby end. And I'm coloring over the whole flower in the light. This is sort of a purpley blue. It's part of why I love it so much, because I love purple. And this little flower in here is also the purple. I've kept the center of this little itty bitty flower gray. I actually used the Smoky Slate in the center. I don't know if you can see that too well. Okay, let's... I'm tempted to go with the other end just to make it go faster. Maybe I'll do that on another one of the petals. Okay, let's try that. It's a nice fine tip. It's just a little bit more risky to get outside the lines, but you can cover a lot more territory more quickly with this paintbrush type end. See how that was really quite a bit faster to do those remaining petals. Okay, so you can see the difference between my big one, where I don't have really any shading. I've just used the light Smoky Slate and the light Marina Mist, and this one I've done my shading. So let's go to doing our shading. So now I've got my dark Smoky Slate, and I'm going to use the hints that Stampin' Up gave me to choose where to put the dark. So I'm just going over the dark spots, and I'm going to do some in the center And what's one of the things I love about the Stampin' Up! Images is that they give me hints, okay? So the leaves here, all done in just the light smoky slate, and I'm gonna go over those little shaded areas with my dark smoky slate. Okay, so let's take a look again. Okay, so you can see all those spots. Like on those two leaves, you can see distinct lines. It's not really blended. So now let's get to some blending. So now I'm going to go back to my light colors, and each time you put a layer on, it gets a little darker. So I'm sort of making a third shade of gray in here in the mix on these two leaves. And then I'm going to take my color lifter, the nubby end again, and do my blending. So I'm going to blend starting at the top, and then wherever it looks a little bit too much of a hard line, I'm going to just kind of blur it. This always feels a little bit like I'm bleaching and mixing the ink when I use it. So now it looks a little bit more blended there on those two leaves that I just did. Now let's take our light smoky slate and blur those lines on the center of the flower, adding our third shade of gray, if you will. And then the blending, the color lifter rather, to blend wherever it seems like there's a hard line. You can see I'm being very scientific about it. All right, so that center to me looks a whole lot more blended. Now let's work on the flower petals. I've got my dark Misty Moonlight now, and as again, all those petals are just the light. And I'm going to go into the center with some dark just near where it meets the center, and then I'm going to fan out a little bit, again, to mirror the lines that are in that image already. If you have any questions as I'm doing this, please comment and let me know. If I don't see them, I will surely respond after. So, hi Julia, good to see you here. Okay, so now you can see that looks pretty bad because it needs to be blended. So now I'm going to bring my light Misty Moonlight back in. I'm going to again add that sort of third shade by going over where the dark meets the light. And I didn't put any dark on this little one, but I'm just going to go in with the second layer of the light instead of doing the dark on that one. It's so small. Okay, last but not least, color lifter. Let's just do a little bit on my little flower. And then I'll do the same thing. I'm going to go in at the edge where the lightest color is and where the colors meet to kind of blur them a little bit. I'm thinking, you know, that this is such a small bit of all the coloring, but it still takes a good amount of time. Coloring in is one of those things. But this element, of course, is really the star of the show, this floral element. So it's got to be really, you know, spend some time on it. So what do you think? Do you guys like it? I might need a little more gray in the center. Looks a little too polka dotty. Let's see. check the cap on my dark smoky slate. It doesn't look tight. Okay, I can do that. Sometimes I leave them half open because I'm still using them. Oh yes, yeah, I left it partially open. Sometimes I do that because I'm thinking I'm going to use it again. See, I did the same thing on the dark misty moonlight. All right, I think I'm pretty much done with that. You know, if I wanted to, I could go over it with Wink of Stella, but I think it's really pretty. So there you go. All right, let's move on to the next step. So that was, okay. So next we're going to start with a little bit of putting things together. Well, now this one is going to go onto our basic black piece. Now this basic black has also been die cut with the stitched rectangle die, and I have adhesive already on the back. It's a slightly larger size, so I'm going to layer those up. And when your piece is dry embossed with all this texture on it, the white glue is especially good for making sure it's going to stay on there. So let's chuck that in there. And with a big piece like this, of course, I could put the white glue on ahead of time, but it's so big I'm not worried as much about it oozing out. It's a lot more easy to control how much you put on there when you're working with a bigger piece. All right, so let's go ahead and attach this. Again, the black has adhesive already on the back. And it's just going to cover up this little secret spot. Nobody's ever going to know that it was die cut from the center. Okay. Still got my sentiment pieces. I'm setting those aside. Now, I've got all this stuff going on in behind the flower. You can see here, I've got some die cut pieces, 3 of them, and I've got all these little elements of ribbon. So I want to show you how I put together the ribbon elements. So I've got 3 pieces, different pieces of ribbon I'm using. These are both Misty Moonlight, so that one's Misty Moonlight. This, of course, has the silver thread in it. This ribbon is retiring. It's the thread is part of the, what is it, Flowers for Every Season combination pack of ribbon, the thread. This Misty Moonlight, I think that's in the mini. I think it comes with petal pink also. I'm trying to remember. So anyway, I've got 2 of those elements I've already assembled. But essentially how I'm doing this is I've got my glue dots, and I'm going to fold this in half. How did I decide I wanted that? So I'm going to do it that way. So I want to put a glue dot in the center of my ribbon, and then I'm just going to fold it to get my little V shape like I have with that one. And then on my assembled piece, I've got a glue dot on the back of that. I don't know if you can see that. Camera's struggling to focus, but it's on there. And that's just going to get attached on top of this. Or I can assemble it one piece at a time too if I want to put it in a specific place behind the flower. So maybe that's what I'll do. All right, so this is where, you know, there's a little bit of fussing around with it. I'm going to have to cut this one down a bit. I've got my die cut pieces down here. And what I've done with these is I've put a glue dot on the front side. You see how I turn that around? It's attached to my paper because it's going to go in behind here. And it needs the glue dot on the front of it. Okay. Again, that one's the short one. I need a scissors. So this part is, you know, it's a little fussy getting it all on there, but need another glue dot. How's everybody doing out there? Oh, I'm sorry you have to leave, Julia. That's okay, though. You come watch the replay. All right, so let's go ahead and attach this piece. And then I'm going to trim this one down a bit because it's quite a bit longer than the other one. Let's see if that's short enough. Get a glue dot on the front. And then we'll just stick it in my finger there. Okay. And in behind, just on top of that first bit of foliage, the gray foliage right there. Okay, and then these guys, might need to trim those down a little bit. Get to that in a bit. We're going to get attached in behind. So more glue dots. I love my glue dots. Glue dots are the perfect thing for a ribbon because they actually stick to the ribbon. Okay, that one actually has a glue dot on it already. So when I was doing this, I was envisioning it was like, I don't know, like a bouquet, you know, when you go to the store and it's got, you know, the floral paper around it or something. Okay. I kind of tend to mess with this kind of stuff quite a bit, so I'm going to try not to do too much there. All right, so now I've got this piece here. Again, it's got a glue dot on the front, so I'm just going to tuck it in behind. And same with this one. I love all of these little elements that come in this set of dies. So much fun. Okay, and then next, I need my dimensionals on the back side. And I'm gonna load these up. You can see, like right here, I'm gonna straddle the ribbon and the paper to help hold it down. And I'm going to be quite generous with my dimensionals on here. So there we go with that. Let's find where we want it on here. Let's just generally lay it there for now. And I've got my piece of Misty Moonlight, my little strip. That's going to get justified to the left. Yeah, it's actually centered. Yeah, it's centered on, centered on the focal piece. And then I have stamped this sentiment already on a very thin strip. It's about 1/4 of an inch, maybe 5/16, which is a 1/16 more than 1/4. So a hair more than 1/4. And then I've got pieces of dimensionals, mini dimensionals cut in half on the back there. And I'm going to have this kind of hanging off the edge on the right, so it goes a little bit over the black. Okay, now I put my dimensionals in back so it would be such that I could tuck this flower in and have it fit right where it needs to be. So all I have to do is tuck that in and I'm all set. Now I am going to show you this second card that I made. I just had to make a card with the die cut piece from the center. Just because. Okay, let's tuck it in here. And there we go. I don't think I forgot anything. I think we're good. Lots of little detail on this one. I hope you like it. Just, yeah, and almost the same. Never exactly the same, and that's all good. Okay, so let me show you this second card. And I did just assemble it. I decided I didn't want to take the time, but I just assemble it because it's a lot of the same things that I've done. So for this second card, I used the center that I die cut out, right? And of course, I think the grain was going in a different direction, so the grain goes here. And then I colored it in. Obviously, that took me a long time, and I used several colors. Of course, the same gray, the smoky slate, misty moonlight, balmy blue for the blue, and Highland heather for the purple. And on the edges, I did the same thing, except I used a little bit of misty moonlight ink around the edges. Stuck some of the die cut elements in behind. This is a piece of vellum right here. And I did pop up the flower, so it's raised up on dimensionals. So a lot of the same elements, made use of that die cut piece out of the center. And there you go. Fun, right? Now I have an inside piece for this one. And let's go ahead and put it in, because I've got my last two pieces, die cut pieces with glue on the back, that I made for the inside of this card. So this suite is available again through the end of June. If there's something you love and just have to get it. You can see I got my little notes on the inside of my colors. You can see what I used. And I didn't write the, oh yeah, Highland Heather. I was right. It's amazing how I can do something and then I go back to it and go, wait a minute, what did I do on that? So I got to keep myself, got to have notes for the details. Okay, so, but it just doesn't look good, so I have to take it away for now. All right, so for this, I've got, this is another one of the die cuts. Love this one, the flower. And then again, this one. These both have the adhesive on the back. Look how they're sticking to my finger, but they're not getting me goopy. Love that. And this is going to go kind of under and to the left of this other one. So I'm sticking them together. Then I'm just going to tuck that in the corner. Yep. I think I need my paper piercing tool. So this is another fun little way to do it, right? Instead of using your finger, stick it to a tool. And then it just makes it a little easier to position it. I want it underneath. Okay, that's what I'm going with. So there you go. Nice little element on the inside. All righty, there we go. Fun, right? I like it. Hope you guys like it. I know there's lots of details to these cards, but you know, just fun, right? All righty, let's turn the camera around. Some of my crazy light there. It's my light facing down on my workspace. So I hope you guys liked that. I will have the details about that card, the dimensions, and all that stuff, all the supplies in a blog post go live on Saturday. This video will also be live on YouTube. So whether you're watching live or on the replay, please feel free to comment. Let me know what you think, ask questions, etc. And let's see. So quick little recap on the announcements, and then I will announce the winner of the hashtag drawing from 2 weeks ago. The hashtag 3x3 fun and the in color bookmark. Okay, so yeah, just the quick kissing technique class. If you want a kit, today's the last day. Make sure to go to my website. The classes and events tab is where you find the details for technique classes. You want to go to the technique classes option. Maker's Mojo Creative Escape, just 1 week left to register. Don't miss out. It's so much fun, all day crafting fun, live crafting. You can watch live or watch the replay. Either way, it's a full day, so you may want to watch some of the replays for sure. We have a surprise special guest as well, so super excited to share that. Taste of a Sweet product shares. The early bird deadline is Monday the 18th. I'm glad you had fun watching, Kathleen. It was so fun to know you were out there. So let's see what else. And the deadline to reserve shares, regardless of early bird, is May 1. And the catalog goes live on May 3rd. I forgot to mention also, of course, the current catalog is retiring. The last chance list is out. Those items are, there's discounts up to 50% on the items that are last chance. And those are available through May 2nd or while supplies last. So don't forget to check out the things that are discounted and that are going away. Let's see what else. I guess that's pretty much it. Let's get to the prize winners. So we had one prize drawing for, okay, just grabbing this over here, sorry. Seeing the top of my head, for this little set of mini 3x3 cards. There's 4 cards in there with 4 envelopes. These little boxes are retiring, these acetate boxes. There will still be 3x3 envelopes in the catalog, so that's a good thing. But anyway, is that not adorable? You'll have to watch the Facebook Live from 2 weeks ago if you want to see the projects, because I had tons of photographs on the blog post for that 2 weeks ago, so make sure to check it out. So the person who gets this will also get one of my in-color bookmarks. These are the retiring in-color bookmarks. Again, those are, you want to get those too before they're gone. And the winner of that is Sharon Ellisor. I don't know if Sharon's here tonight, but I'm sure I missed people who are watching. So congratulations, Sharon. And then the second winner is going to win the second bookmark that I have. I know the little note cards are so cute. I love making the little note cards. Those are made, that the paper hug, that's a new stamp set, remember. And the image in behind is a retiring stamp kit set, all squared away. Again, all those details are in the blog post. So anyway, the second winner, the winner of this bookmark, is Tracy Starkweather. And I don't know if Tracy's here either, but I know she's a regular watcher, so I know she'll enjoy the bookmark. So thanks to all of you for commenting, letting me know you were interested in winning those prizes, because I drew among the people who used the hashtag on the post or on the Facebook Live and YouTube Live, whatever, from 2 weeks ago. Alrighty. So that pretty much wraps it up. I will be back in 2 weeks on April 28th. Of course, it'll be right before the new catalog launches and the old one goes away. And anyway, but with something fun, I'll be back again. So thanks for watching. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I will look forward to seeing you next time or in an upcoming class. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Happy crafting. Mwah.